great admiration for people who don't even exist? Do you know histories of fake worlds better than you know your own? Do you geek out? If so, geek out with us here now. It's the Geek for All Show.
Okay, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Geek for All Show. I am your host, Geekmeister. I really hope this is actually going out there. I have no idea if this is actually working or not. We're going to find out once everything is said and done, whether or not this is actually working. We're recording it just in case. We might just be releasing a thing tomorrow. But I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Professor Weirdfuck.
Hi, if anyone's hearing.
And our head panelist, Sam.
Hello.
And we have a guest panelist tonight, Justin.
Hey, what's up?
All right, cool. So this was another kind of like weird one trying to get together, very last minute, so much so that we decided to try to do a live broadcast because we could only meet on the day of. We're also switching the schedule up. We're going to be doing it the 1st and 3rd of every month instead of the 2nd and 4th, just because that's where the last 2 videos fell anyway, so let's just keep doing it that way. Why not? So, Justin, you're new here. Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit and let the people get to know you?
Oh, wow. Oh, hi. I'm Justin. I am a comedian and a musician here in Chicago. Trying to figure out the fuck I'm doing with my life. I hope we can cuss. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck no, Justin. Get
Wait,
the fuck
did
out
you
of
say
here.
your name is like Professor Big Weird Fuck? How did
Did you say Bick Weird Fuck?
Yeah.
Is it because I'm
Weird Fuck.
Irish? You racist son of a bitch.
Just a little bit. I mean, that's a cool ass name. If you're not Big Weird Fuck, can I be Big Weird Fuck? Can I be Justin Big Weird Fuck?
No. There's only one weird fuck around here, and that's me, man.
Damn it. Well, you are you're Weird Fuck, not Big Weird
Professor Weird Fuck.
Fuck. Professor
Weird Fuck.
I'm sorry. I disrespected all those years of college.
It was like 2.5. Don't worry about it.
All right. So tonight we're here to discuss cartoons, specifically cartoons that are like aimed at adults, kind of like, starting with The Simpsons, which is like sort of the first one that it was technically aimed at the family, but I mean, like, I think it's pretty clear that it was slightly more aimed at one direction of the family than the other.
Yeah.
It was definitely more from the parents' perspective. Like, I mean, the kids had their episodes and everything, but even so, there was a weird maturity about the way that they handled certain situations. Not necessarily like, not even maturity, just sort of like an adult attitude toward it, because...
Well, I mean, like Simpsons, I feel like it was the cartoon. It had to be cartoon because it was what every adult was thinking in the back of their heads. The Simpsons was like the dark, comic release of all those, of like all that anguish and like, just, I guess, exhaustion from being married and having kids and having to grow up. Like, I feel like that all their jokes are geared towards those adults that have those dark like jokes in their heads.
And didn't The Simpsons premiere during the Tracy Ullman show?
Yeah,
like a skit.
Yeah,
so
it was a short sketch.
Yeah, so it was definitely aimed at like the more mature, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And they make fun of the stereotypical kids shows. They've got Itchy and Scratchy, which is a
So fucking violent.
which
man.
is the typical
Yeah.
cat mouse kind of, Sylvester and Tweety,
Which
et
is
cetera, et
which is a
cetera.
part of the Krusty the Clown show,
Right, which is
is
a play on
obviously
Bozo.
Yeah.
So, and then you see the behind the scenes of Krusty where, he's happy and go lucky on set, and then, as soon as they yell cut, he's, chain smoking. And
Krusty may be the best character on that show, not because he's necessarily like the best in it of himself, but the opportunities that he presents to comment on culture are just fucking phenomenal. Like, like it's like really like they can just like anytime they just need to show how much of a charade something is in our everyday lives, like they just
Krusty in.
bring Krusty out and he just fucking.
See, but
lays
that's-
it
Well,
out.
they also used to do that with like Troy McClure before Phil Hartman died. They had to kind of stop doing his characters after Phil Hartman died. But
right.
I mean, but that really shows you how good of a show that is because, you say Krusty's one of the greatest characters. It's just like, man, I don't know if I could agree with that because so many other ones come to mind. So it's just like, there aren't many shows
it's
that's
debatable,
like that.
man.
Yeah.
Like that,
I like Groundskeeper Willie a lot. Grease me up, woman!
But yeah, you've got all these characters who are very, like just the beginning where, you've got Homer and just the relationship between Homer and Bart, where there's like distinctive physical abuse, but it's super funny because it's all those times where you just want to strangle your children.
Your kids, yeah.
And he does
Homer gets to do it.
And Homer gets to do it.
He gets to do it for you.
Right.
You can't, he'll do it for you.
But then you've got the same point, and we talked a little bit about Simpsons with sitcoms too last time. You've got those moments in The Simpsons where it's very heartfelt too.
Yeah.
Where it's those moments, like when, and I brought it up last time, when Homer stays at the nuclear plant and he does it for Maggie. It's those heartfelt moments that the adults go, yep, it's possibly worth it. That's what it's about. And they kind of bring it to the, this is what's going on in your head when you want to just lose it, but at the same time, this is why you do it.
Yeah.
So it's a very important commentary.
I mean, just on the string of adult cartoons, it's just like, you think about Simpsons, how great that was, and then Futurama just hops on the
Oh
show.
yeah, I was about to say, we
like,
gotta segue
like
to
she
Futurama
was
right
talking
now,
about
like-
the Do It For Her episode, and that was like the first time a cartoon ever like made me feel things. The first time a cartoon absolutely made me cry is the goddamn dog. Like,
oh my god, I was gonna say the fucking dog episode,
like, holy
dude.
shit.
Dude, there was a lot of stuff, like the Bender's Big Score, that movie. Like, try watching that movie tripping on mushrooms and, like, not having an emotional breakdown. Like,
oh, man.
make you rethink your entire life.
Like, just the entire concept of Futurama is sad, and you would think, like, a cartoon would never really address that. But this show does so many times.
Yeah, and not necessarily at first. Like, they sort of steered away from it first because I think they had the ideas in their head of like what you could do in that kind of a situation. This guy's marooned in the future, like that is like the sad. There's no getting home. Like, no matter how much he tries, he's not going to do it.
Right.
Yeah,
and they kind of veered away, like, and kept it lighthearted for a while. But man, like, after they left and then came back, particularly, they just went, no, we're addressing this completely and utterly the way that we wanted to the first time, without anybody getting in our way. It's at least
that
what I
was
feel.
with the Seventh Leaf Clover.
Yes.
I think that was
Yes.
the first episode where they're just like, you know what? Time for feelings.
Yep.
And they don't stop. The final episode, you see Fry and Leela live their life.
Yeah.
And then the final line is, you want to go again? And they start this whole thing over. And, like, the fact that they kept going, even though they were canceled and they were brought back, and then they had these movies and, all this other stuff, they had such this very deep kind of cartoon.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Every time someone says Futurama, you immediately think that dog episode, or you immediately think certain episodes that hit you the hardest.
The one that always does it for me is the one where he actually is time traveling, but he can only go forward and has to, like, keep going into universes being recreated and stuff. And, like, he leaves that message for Leela to find because he gets there, like, a few thousand years earlier, essentially, and knows that he's not going to hit the mark this time either, and just leaves her that message. Like, that one, for me, was just like, oh, dude. That just, like, kicked me right in the emotional testicles right there. Like, damn. I mean, Matt Groening was instrumental in ultimately what we sort of take for granted in culture. There's so many adult cartoons out there now. You've got Archer and Bob's Burgers. You've got
Rick and Morty.
You've got
South Park.
Oh my God, South Park. Matt and
South
Trey.
Park,
like a truly a cultural phenomenon that.
I love how nobody said Family Guy.
Yeah!
Like, I just wanted to point that out. Like,
I was gonna bring it up. It's not my favorite.
like
No one's favorite. It is
Sitting
a
back and
staple. It is a staple. It
It's
deserves
awful.
credit.
It does.
yeah,
It
like,
does.
like
It
sitting
does.
back and talking how much like we enjoy
Something
The
hits you?
Simpsons
Yeah.
and Futurama. If like when you really sit down and think about Family Guy, you're like, that was really fluff entertainment. Like that was
There's no emotional connection to those.
right. I mean, even South Park has had some real episodes that hit
for
you.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you think about it, whenever you ask, especially millennials, you ask, what shows did you grow up with? We talk about The Simpsons, we talk about Futurama, we talk about South Park.
Oh, yeah.
I've never heard someone say, "Oh, Family Guy, I grew up with that show." No one ever fucking says that. They say, "Oh yeah, I watch it when it's on Netflix, or I watch it when it's on Fox, or whatever the fuck."
Yeah.
I mean, why else would you watch it more than that? Honestly,
Yeah.
like
People like American Dad better than Family Guy.
I prefer
Like,
American
American Dad is
I
better.
prefer American
Yeah.
It's all because of Roger. That is.
I mean, Roger is the entire reason to watch that show.
I
for
quote
sure.
him more than I'm proud to admit. Like, I really, like, you stupid bitch, you don't even know. Like, you don't know what you did. Oh, God, I love that.
No, Roger.
Who's Roger's alter ego? That one, like, really bad alter
Oh
ego?
God, I can't remember the name, but
There's
yeah,
so
it's a
many.
great
Yeah,
episode.
there's so many. I can't even begin to guess.
Like, is it Ricky Savage?
Maybe, yeah.
This
maybe.
that sounds familiar.
Ricky Savage.
There's one where he's like
Something
a
like
college
that.
Sanchez?
kid, and then he's
Yeah, it's
No,
not
no,
Sanchez.
it's not.
It's like something like smooth or epic, like type of last
Yeah.
name. I don't know. But whatever. Yeah, Roger's pretty fucking awesome.
and nobody thought about the
Cleveland show.
Oh my god, the bear! Like I like the idea of a talking bear, but then it was just like, okay, this is a waste of a talking bear. Like
I really,
the entire
I can't
show.
get behind that show at all. I really can't. It's just it's nothing to it.
It's not great.
All,
It's not good.
all those shows are very cookie cutter.
Yeah.
You've got the
Yeah.
mom, you've got the nuclear family, and then the weird animal or alien or talking something, and then
The oddity.
The oddity,
Yeah.
and then they've got all
I
these
almost
situations.
asked what was it in Family Guy. It's the goddamn dog.
It's a dog.
It's Brian. I'm sorry.
Brian.
Keep going. I'm dumb.
So, but there's nothing that like I think if anything, if I think of Family Guy, I think of the specialty episodes they did, the Star Wars episodes that they did.
Oh yeah. No, the best Family Guy episodes are the special musical comedy episodes with Brian and Steve. Like hands down, those are the only ones really worth watching, and only the earlier ones, because once they realized that they had something there, they ruined it. You know, that's actually, I think, the story of Family Guy, is that they figured out that they
that's the
had
story
something
of
and
Seth
ruined
MacFarlane.
it. Yes.
He picks something up and everyone goes, actually, that wasn't awful. And he goes, okay, I'm going to do it 5 million times because you're going to pay me to do it.
I just don't know how they turned Stewie from this hilarious evil villain character to a very gay baby.
Stewie went from like maniacally evil to like
to a
like,
very
flaming
gay baby,
homosexual.
which is just very
Yeah.
uncomfortable for if you think about it. Like this baby.
Because he's a baby.
No, I don't care. Look, I love gay people. Oh man. Oh wow. Yep.
You actually said it.
First
is
and
the
last time
cliche.
I've been going to be on this podcast. That was a record. Shit. Love gay people. Weirded out by gay babies. Like, I'm sorry.
No, there's actually, I can't remember what stand-up comedian it is.
Oh god, now
I
they're gonna
wish I
think
could-
I don't think babies are people.
No. No. But there's a stand-up comedian who pointed that out. Like, he said he had a friend who came over and said, like, I think my baby might be gay. Well, you're an idiot. I don't think babies should be gay. I don't think babies should be straight either. I think they should be
No, they
babies.
just have this baby lusting after full-grown men with abs. I'm like, that's like a reverse pedophilia. Like, well, I don't know what it is, but it's
not cool, that's
Here's
for
what
sure.
it is. It's fucked up humor.
Right.
And we gotta understand. We all laughed at it.
Yeah.
We saw it. It was fucking Rupert the teddy bear.
Yeah.
Like, with a big, muscular gay man.
Thank you.
Like, and it was hilarious. We all laughed. Come on. We're the sickos that eat this shit up.
Yeah.
But it's just weird when you sit and think about it. Like,
Yeah, it's weird.
that's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's purely
Then we just keep
shallow
smoking weed and
entertainment.
it's
Oh,
okay.
No, I think that's the reason that we didn't hit Family Guy right off the bat, was just because, like, it doesn't come to mind because it's not super provocative.
Oh,
There's
God,
nothing
right.
special about it. There's
There's
just
no depth.
There's no
No,
depth.
there's
There's
no
just there's a handful of memorable gags, and that's the only reason that it hangs on.
Yeah.
us.
I'm
Shitload of
seriously
frost.
thinking about Family Guy more than I should, and I just realized the dog's trying to fuck the mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dog has a girlfriend. Brian has girlfriends.
Oh yeah.
Multiple partners.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
all the time.
No, you want to talk about like just people and things that like shouldn't be having like sex and shit? Like, yeah, no, like Family Guy is the perfect place to go. But we've done enough on Family Guy. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like we've devoted too much time to Family Guy.
Too
already.
much time. on
Yeah.
Family Guy, indeed.
Can we devote a little bit of, Sam, I know you're not up on this one as much, but can we devote a little time to Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
Yes,
please.
please.
Love of God.
Yes.
Because
Well-
Rick and Morty, like, when I think of something to compare Futurama to, I can only think Rick and Morty. Like, and not because of the sci-fi link, literally because I think it's like the only thing that's on that level. You know what I mean? Like
did you
Close.
read
Anything close to that level,
Yeah,
at least.
honestly.
Like, I mean, I feel like Rick and Morty has a lot of, like, elements of, like, a lot of thinking elements that kind of remind me of Doctor Who, like how Doctor Who makes you think. Very, like, obscure and cynical and dark and, like, really funny. Another one of those shows that makes you crawl into the back of your skull and actually enjoy those dark jokes in the back of your head.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it has depth to it. It makes you, like we were talking about with The Simpsons, it has
Right.
those, like, those moments of joy that remind you that, hey, maybe life's not that bad. And it's like, but it's okay to be a cynical asshole.
Yeah,
Like-
it is far more nihilist than the Simpsons ever was, though, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, for
Like-
sure. I mean, when his catchphrase is, I don't give a fuck.
I mean, just ultimately, like, the overarching message, even, like, the good stuff that comes out of it, is all kind of along the lines of nothing matters, therefore you shouldn't care about that thing that you're caring about. Like, that's kind of what everything, like, draws back to. Like, one of the most touching moments in the show is when Morty is telling his sister about how he eats breakfast from his own dead body, like,
Yeah, that
every,
got
like,
dark.
10 minutes away. But then he wraps it all up with, nobody's supposed to be anywhere, nothing matters, come watch TV. Like, just this beautiful little, like, hey, you know, life can actually kind of be cool if you embrace the meaninglessness of it.
Yeah.
I mean, not sure if that's the philosophy that I
Shit
agree with in
happens,
life,
like-
but it's an interesting one.
Shit happens,
Yeah.
can't explain it, just fucking live it.
Yeah. And also, I mean, as far as just, like, a show that definitely could have been done extremely episodically, where, like, nothing ties, oh my god, story arc, holy shit.
I was just about to say, did you see that theory video somebody posted about how
Rick is not actually Morty's he's a Rick from a different universe and came to find a Morty.
Like, there's an episode where they break down where they showed you how we kind of got switched, so the Rick of the universe that we're watching is not actually the one that we're with during this episode. And that's an episode where, like,
Which episode?
It's the one where they're hunting that killer who's trying to kill the cloud thingy.
Oh, okay.
God, I suck at explaining shit.
The one that had the dude from that New Zealand show that everybody fucking loves.
It's the one where they introduced a video game where they play somebody else's life.
Oh,
that episode.
That one. Yeah. No, that is the same one. The one
Yeah.
he meets, like, the entity that is purely energy or something like that, or like, no, purely gas. It's purely a gas form. That's what it is.
Like, it's a really entertaining
and it's
video. You
played
should definitely watch it.
Played by I can't remember the name, but the guy from Flight of the Conchords is the one who does that. He plays a ball of gas, which Rick constantly refers to as just a fart, because he's Rick and he's a dick.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one was, talk about a powerful episode. But wait, you're talking about how we're not. I'm sorry, you were talking about the fan theory.
Well, there's a fan theory that now and then we switch perspectives. So the ones the Ricks and Mortys that we've been following are
not
always
all
the
same.
one we watch.
Oh, interesting.
Which there's a whole, the theory ties together everything, even the episode with creatures installing fake memories of themselves on there.
Huh.
Yeah, it's I'm not breaking this down correctly at all, but just definitely watch that video.
All right, yeah, no, I'll definitely have to check it out. Fan theory. The other big fan theory that's out there is the one that at the beginning of the show, the Rick that we see interacting with his family and everything, and who eventually will go on all these adventures with this Morty and all of that, is not Morty's actual grandfather. He is a Rick from another universe where he never actually even had a kid, and he basically came to find a universe where a Rick had died and he had a Morty available that he wasn't using, because we find out the reason Ricks travel with Morty is because of opposite brainwave. And so there's like so I mean, and here's the thing, this show is, again, it's kind of meant to be like just a silly pessimistic fuck you to the universe kind of thing, but it's got all these intricate plot holes and, like, you know, space for fan theory, and I mean, it's so intricate that they invented that Pocket Morty game, and the creators are actually like, it's canon, fuck it, why not? It's happening in a universe somewhere, fuck it. Like, that's just awesome. But yeah, no, Rick and Morty, or if anyone's not checked it out yet, really solid. The first 2 seasons are out. We don't know when we're getting that 3rd one because they're bastards.
Watch it for the roided up Rick. Episode alone
Christ,
with
yeah.
DMX.
Yes.
They just beat the shit
Shit
out
out
of
of-
Satan.
Satan and then out of a bunch of assholes at the end of the episode. It's fucking great.
The first time I saw them spit after they kicked their asses, I died laughing.
It was the perfect fucking song for it too, dude. Like, just oh my god. It's so it's a really good one. But yeah, Rick and Morty is a really solid choice. One that is not. It's not nearly as good, but as far as just being a satire, kind of sits in similar respects to Rick and Morty, because Rick and Morty is clearly like a satire in all kinds of science fiction. But I'm talking, of course, about Archer being a satire on spy movies, particularly James Bond, which is... I love Archer. First of all, I love H. John Benjamin. Let me get that. Archer and Bob's Burgers are on at my house
Love Bob's Burgers.
so fucking much because I just love H. John Benjamin's voice. Like,
Well, we might as well kill 2 birds with 1 stone with Bob's Burgers and
Yeah,
Archer
Archer.
right here. I mean,
There's
they
so much
have a
crossover.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
there's-
have, like,
I mean, and not just like the one episode where they made the joke about it. Like, so many of the actors from both of those shows have been on the other show. Like, the 2 groups of people who make those 2 shows are super tight knit.
Yeah.
And the only regular between the 2 of them is H. John Benjamin. And so it's just everybody else is just a super good sport and very cooperative and. Just sort of makes it happen, and allow you get these great voices that you recognize doing this new thing. And they're both really good, but totally different shows.
Completely different shows.
So
Completely different
utterly
shows.
different. You've got obviously the spy satire, and then you've got poor family trying to struggle by in a
Right.
crappy diner. I don't know. Like, which one do we want to tackle? Do we? Because I don't know if we can actually tackle them at the same time. There is crossover, but coming to think of it, there's so much diversity in these 2 shows besides the actors.
That's true.
So we'll stick with Archer. We'll get to Bob's Burgers in a second. But is anybody else? Did anybody else watch the last season of Archer?
I have
No.
not.
Okay, can I spoil something here, just a little bit as far as like this most recent season? Because shit just got crazy, and I don't know. I need to talk about it with somebody.
Yes, I can't promise I
Sure.
won't hate you.
All right, fair enough. So, episode 10 of this latest season. I don't know if it's a season break or if this is the end of this season / the end of the show. So the last episode. Now, granted, there are cybernetic clones also involved, so you have to remember that maybe it's that. But you think that a cybernetic clone of Archer has been shot into the pool, and then Archer like sweeps up in behind and like catches the bad guy and everything, and then Lana's just been pissed at him the entire season because he's been being a dick because it's Archer and Lana, and that's how it goes. And so he's trying to calm her down, and he drops to one knee, and he's about to propose. And they've been talking about the fact that none of the machines actually like pass the test to the humanity test. I can't remember the actual name of it right now, but like the being able to explain love essentially, like, or the CPU will shut down if it's trying to explain a concept that big and broad. And so he goes and he's about to propose, and then suddenly and he starts like frying his circuits and stuff. And you like look over to the pool, and it's like, is that Arch? And they just end the fucking episode.
According to IMDb, that's the last episode of season 7, and season 8 starts unknown.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying, dude. I'm
So they have a
seriously
season 8 according to
nervous.
IMDb, but doesn't say it's canceled.
Yeah,
And I
mean,
can't see that they would. It's very popular.
it's extremely popular.
and
Although,
successful.
they might be worrying about what's her name? Mallory, the actress who plays Mallory. Her health has not been in the greatest of places over the last couple of years. It was barely in season 6, and season 7. Like, I mean, she had more going on, but it was still kind of a softer role than we're normally watching Mallory take. And it's because Jessica Walters. There we go. Thank you, Brain. Jessica Walters has been very ill. I mean, not like dying the second ill, but 2016 has been a motherfucker.
Jesus Christ.
I mean,
Kill streak.
yeah, knock on the wood table in front of us. Good God. But yeah, I get concerned. I'm really concerned about Jessica Walter. Not only just for Archer, because I'd like to continue to see that going, and I don't know how you continue doing that show really without Mallory. She seems kind of important to that whole dynamic. But more importantly, I'm really worried about Jessica Walters for the sake of Arrested Development, because we're like not going to get our movie at this point.
Arrested Development's a whole other
conversation. So let's but Archer but getting off of the actor's health and stuff and onto the show itself, I think what I like about Archer is that it really, especially in its first season, it kind of just became its own thing after a while, but that first season fucking nailed like every flaw with every James Bond movie and like in Mission Impossible film, like just fucking laid it out. My favorite, and they even continued that in later seasons as well. One of my favorite things is that they talk about the fact that a bulletproof vest is bulletproof once. One time. You get one shot out of a bulletproof vest, and that is it.
I always love, how realistically they dealt with the explosives with his eardrums being just fucked all episode.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just, great. I love tiny stuff like that.
Yeah, no, and it's the attention to detail, I think, is what makes that show really good, and there is a lot of it going on.
One of the most quotable TV shows of all time, too.
Oh, God,
like,
yeah. I mean, just phrasing alone will never quite have the same meaning as it used to.
Yeah.
You want ants? Because this is how you get ants.
Just up. Okay, we're going to end up quoting this for the entire podcast.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, you literally could just do a exchange of quotes from Archer for like a good hour straight, man.
I mean, heaven help anyone named Lana that has an Archer fan as a boyfriend. That's gotta be hell. You can't have any serious fight. Like, Lana, are you serious? You cheated on me. Like, it's ruined.
Yep. Forever. Now, Bob's Burgers, not nearly as much attention to detail. That one is even more episodic than Archer is.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things about it is actually there's kind of this detachment from realism while still sort of talking about real life at the same time. It's a bizarre.
It's just a bizarre show.
But the
family really is.
I think it's mostly that the family is so real, but the situations they're in tend to be unrealistic.
Yeah, completely. And not only that, but the animation itself is. Yeah. I love that no matter how attractive a person is supposed to look on that show, they are ugly as fuck. Everyone on that show is ugly as shit.
My brother made a good point to me one day. He's like, I'm watching Bob's Burgers, and I just realized that they all look like puppets.
Yeah.
Think about how their mouths move. Their bottom part moves.
Yeah.
They do.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, flaps like a puppet.
Yep.
They don't have, you don't really see teeth.
No, not really.
Unless they, make a big stink about teeth
For some reason.
Right, yeah, they specifically mention it, you don't really see it. Yeah, but you're right, it is very puppet, they're very Muppet looking.
Yeah.
They are.
Which when drawn out, but I mean, it's
look at Gene.
Yeah. It's true.
Gene is a Muppet, good God.
And their movements are very Muppet-like.
Yeah.
And their expressions. Like, Tina at one point makes a Kermit face. Where she does, the scrunched up lips that Kermit makes. Where, they're all just, they scrunch up the puppet's face. She makes those faces.
Yep.
So it is. It's very true that they're very Muppet.
I never really thought of that obviously. That's good. I like that. Good stuff, Tom.
I just like how the family, every so often, there's just little lines that just get me. I think there's one episode where, I think it's season 1, it's the guy's robbing the bank and Bob ends up being the negotiator.
Oh my God, Mickey!
Mickey robs the bank. Bob's a negotiator. He's leaving the restaurant, and Linda goes something like, "Don't leave me with them.
Don't leave me with
these
kids.
Yes, don't leave me with these friggin' kids."
And he's not even the negotiator. He's just dropping off food. And then they try to take a shot while he's handing off food. Actually, that's one of my favorite things is that they don't like totally just bash on cops, but they really subtly and effectively point out certain issues that are very common in real life with like police and stuff. Like that episode was like very like talking about trigger happy cops and stuff. Like just like there's a whole scene that like, you guys are trigger happy. No, we're not. Like he holds up like a sign, just gets shot immediately. Yes, you are.
But yeah, it's just, you've got these such absurd characters, but there's such this great diversity. Like, Bob's friends with a drag queen.
Yeah.
And, like...
A few drag queens. I mean, Marshmallow is the friendship that sticks. Marshmallow continues to show up.
Exactly.
I mean, just because Marshmallow's introduction was just one of the best things ever. Where can I put my coat?
Yeah, it's amazing. And then you've got, like, the kids... who the three kids all rotate to be my favorite. I think Louise tends to be my favorite.
It's so hard
just
to
because
decide.
she's so diabolical and just like almost Stewie like.
Yeah, no, she is.
But more capable of taking over the world.
Yeah, I can.
More sociopath.
Like if you gave that kid some money and maybe a college education, she'd probably take over the world.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that.
And then you've got Gene, who's in his own little world, but he's so funny. When they give them the opportunity to be.
I mean, all of them are, though. I mean, like, Tina is just, like, the most amazing ball of awkwardness that has ever been.
But she's pretty much, if you ask any girl at her age, I was her. Like, I was definitely, maybe a little less weird,
I mean,
but
she's the extreme of that teenage girl, for sure. But, I mean, like, yeah, no, they've...
Man, like, they really just, like, pinpoint her.
I feel like she's, like... She's a much less sardonic and pessimistic Daria, which I'm looking at your shirt. Sam decided to wear a Daria shirt for all of this. She's like a much less pessimistic Daria. Like, she doesn't get social cues, and she doesn't necessarily care very much that she doesn't get those social cues. And, she just isn't bitter at the world, Like, I mean, that's the thing, though. She's actually a few years younger than Daria. Like, actually, like, Tina could be a great archetype for what Daria was, like, a few years before that series actually starts.
Before Daria realizes that the world is actually shit and she can't be optimistic about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think Tina is a really, really good look at that. Definitely.
When we were talking about The Simpsons and about how, they were the parents and the inside of the parents' minds, and I think Bob and Linda are totally that too, because you get this actually kind of happy marriage, which we talked about in the sitcom episode, that you don't get a whole lot of happy marriages in sitcoms.
This is true, and definitely one thing I like about Bob's Burgers for sure is that Linda and Bob are kind of perfect.
Like, they fight, but then they always make up eventually, and they're definitely in love. And they're always gonna be, and it's just this perfect. They're not a perfect family, but they go trick or treating together, and they have all.
Yeah, no. I mean, they
do couple stuff.
They do. They do couple stuff, and they're those parents who can never get away from their kids. So those episodes where they're allowed to get away from the kids crack me up so much.
Oh my god. Okay, the one where Louise is refusing to get the cavity filled.
The dentist episode. That's one of the best fucking episodes.
And so like she's over at Aunt Gail's, and like the other two go and join her to try to like smoke her out, and there's the scene where they're just like plotting in bed. Yep. And then Linda like puts her book aside and goes, "Okay, sex time," and Bob's like, "Wait, we can do that." Yep. Oh my god.
I really do need to catch up on that one.
Yeah, Bob's Burgers is a good one if you haven't caught up on that. But we've been talking about
the episode I don't like of that one.
It's good. It's just it's a solid show. I mean, and again, I've seen very few things that H. John Benjamin has attached his name to that doesn't have some kind of merit to it. Like he's really, really good about picking those things out for himself.
Well, and it's crazy how many, like almost A-list actors are in that show. Kevin Costner plays a character. Like you have all these actors who play consistently returning characters and reoccurring characters. That just the fact that they get them on this cartoon basically is just it's amazing.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a super impressive show from top to finish, and especially considering how simple it appears. Like it's very effective in what it does.
Definitely.
But speaking of H. John Benjamin and going to a little bit of a classic place, everyone here remember Home Movies?
Home Movies.
Coach McGurk.
Yep.
Yeah, the guy Brendan Smalls who created Metalocalypse and probably a bunch of other Adult Swim shows.
I mean, he's tied to so many different projects. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, this is probably like one of his first projects, or like at least an early project when Adult Swim was still kind of fairly new, like a new thing.
So.
But yeah, that show was awesome. The animation was so terrible, but it was okay because the dialogue, like how it seemed like improv, but to the point where it was just like over the top improv, where
like it wasn't.
They weren't characters; they were caricatures.
Right. And I mean, and more importantly, it wasn't that improv where you were trying to create like something cohesive. It was this kind of improv feel where they were sort of really just trying to go for the awkwardness that is a normal conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Like just the weird pauses that happen and just like the just
Like they recorded the conversation
Yeah.
and then animated around it.
Right. I think that is actually how that show was done. I think they did actually.
Wasn't there another show that shared the same art style as that one? I keep thinking that I remember one.
Yes.
Back on
Yeah.
Fox?
Yes, Brent. Yes.
The Critic?
He did a
No.
kids show called Science Court.
Oh, Science Court! I remember Science Court.
Yeah, Science Court was actually. I mean,
It was okay. Yeah, it was a kids show. It was good for a kids show.
It was good for a kids show. That's the thing. Like, and it was specifically.
Oh, Dr. Katz. That's what you're thinking of, I think.
I think because
Dr.
I was,
Katz.
Oh, I
I
don't
was
know
thinking
Dr.
of
Katz.
was definitely
That was
more
another because
adult-oriented.
John H. That was a Comedy Central show way back in the day when Comedy Central was kind of new.
Good.
Yeah, Brendan Small
actually
did a
had
show
comedy.
called Dr. Katz where it was the same type of animation, same style, and John H. Benjamin did the voice of Dr. Katz's son.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, even South Park made fun of Dr. Katz.
I don't know where I was for Dr. Katz, but clearly not on the cable.
Yeah. We were kids when it was on. I just remember seeing commercials for it. But yeah, Science Court was also another good one. But
Pretty much anything on old school Adult Swim. I mean, they still do Robot Chicken.
oh yeah,
First season's of Robot Chicken, not so good. Later seasons of Robot Chicken, fucking hilarious.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I
Robot
don't
Chicken
know, the
was
first-
a raw
the
idea.
first-
Like
yeah,
it was
I
just.
never liked the first season. To be perfectly honest, I think there were some really interesting things going on with that first season. I'll give you this. It wasn't until I'd say about the second, maybe third season where they were consistently awesome.
Yeah.
Where it was just absolutely everything was on point every time. But that first season does have some of my favorite sketches.
That's
and
true.
The cut that they have where it's just I think it's either a rhino or a triceratops. I can't remember which, but it's just fucking a Jeep with two guys in it. They just pan to that really quickly, and they're just, and it's just humping away at the back of the van, and then they cut to the next sketch. Just the thought to do those weird, simple little things. Hey, a sketch could literally last less than 15 seconds. It literally can just be a sight gag, and we can move on to the next thing. And I think that's actually given them.
That's some of the better ones.
Is that technically a cartoon?
It's animation.
I guess you're right.
It's stop animation,
It's kind of
but yeah.
weird.
It's stop animation, but it is
Yeah.
it's definitely an animation form. I guess
It's almost
it
like
is a weird gray area. You know,
it's just I'm not trying to be a sticker, but
no, you got a good point.
What would you call that technically?
I don't know.
All right.
But I mean, I think cartoon is the easiest thing that it falls under.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
certainly not live action.
No.
It's an animation style of some kind, you know. So I would dub it a cartoon at least.
Harvey Birdman, attorney at law.
Oh my God!
I don't need to say anything
Birdman.
else. I think that says it all right there.
Lab 2021.
Yeah.
Space Ghost.
Space Coast,
Yes!
Coast to Coast. What?
Oh,
The
wait,
show.
The show.
by the way, just on a bit of a side tangent, I have to read it just to read it, but I have no idea how I'm going to respond to Space Ghost as an actually serious comic book character. Because they're bringing a whole bunch. They're bringing him and Johnny Quest and all of those old that old stuff.
Hanna-Barbera.
The Hanna-Barbera, thank you. The
Yeah.
Hanna-Barbera cartoons are all coming to DC as an actual comic book series.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah.
That's a little. I think they're trying to play on the
Come on, DC,
nostalgia
don't do
stuff
that.
a little bit too much on that.
You got a bunch of shit you need to worry about right now, okay?
Right.
You got this.
DC's got to worry about fitting the Watchmen into their main
Right, yeah,
universe,
do not fuck up bringing the Watchmen in so that you can bring in Hanna-Barbera cartoons, okay?
Swear to
like,
God, if there's like a big
seriously.
fight between Space Ghost Dr. Manhattan and fucking Superman,
Would you really put it past him though?
Hell yeah.
I mean-
I'd still read it.
Let's fucking do this. You have my buddy, sir.
I mean, actually...
I'd read it in the comic book store and not buy it.
Oh, I'm one of those assholes
Copy
too.
that
Like
guy.
I'm in there for 3 hours. They're looking at me like, you gonna buy something? Like, no.
I'll take this pack of gum.
I gotta get caught up. That ain't... I can't be paying for that.
Definitely not.
Oh, man.
Then they see me when I hit one of the sealed ones, and they're like, "Got you." I'm like, "Fuck." Next time.
Like, $20 or walk the fuck out.
So we're talking about TV shows that sometimes are almost like they're supposed to be kid shows, but they're not, and they're definitely adult shows. And I know Al and I've talked about them all the time. I talk about them all the time. But Rooster Teeth just started an animated series called Camp, and it's about a summer camp. But the main character is
Is it gonna be like Brickleberry, but not as racist?
It's almost like it's got the Brickleberry tones. It's about this little
Just couldn't
kid.
watch that shit.
It was terrible, dude. I couldn't get through the first episode. It was just like,
Can we
black
just
people want
not
money. Black
talk
people
about
want money.
Let's
Brickleberry?
not stop giving.
Stop
Daniel
giving
Tosh
power.
Yeah,
his your
good point.
attention.
Good point.
Stop.
Good point.
He doesn't deserve it. But Camp's about this kid who's 10 years old. He's super cynical, and he wants to escape this crazy summer camp that doesn't actually. It's called Camp Campbell, but they're like, oh yeah, it's a science camp, it's a theater camp, it's a magic camp, it's a magic camp. So like you throw beanbags and go,
Wait.
firebolt, firebolt.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a LARP.
Yeah, it's a LARP camp. It's an adventure camp. It's a skateboarding camp. Like, they don't know what it is. And it's this kid who is trying to escape, and he's got this camp counselor who's been there for, the camp counselor that went there as a kid.
Oh, and just will not
and just
Never left.
and never left. He just loves it. You've got that. And, like, there's these episodes, like, you watch it, and you kind of forget that you're watching an adult show until the 10-year-old says fuck. Like, fuck this, fuck that, fuck you.
It legit.
And it is hilarious. There's only like 3 episodes out. It's on YouTube, but it is goddamn funny.
I gotta check that out. Rooster
is
Teeth is pretty solid.
goddamn
Yeah,
funny.
I love Ruby, but it legit sounds like either they ripped off the premise from WWE or WWE ripped off the premise from them, because the WWE just put out a cartoon, Camp WWE, and it almost runs the exact same premise. And that's
Yeah.
Oh, seriously?
except it's a baby John Cena, and the camp counselor it's Big Vince McMahon.
Can we move on, please?
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
I'm just really angry from that story.
I sat down and watched the whole episode. I know how you
You're a stronger man than I am, Justin.
feel. Baby Stone Cold. I'm like that's a thing, guys.
Now I'm just thinking about Muppet Babies.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Yes.
god, Muppet Babies.
So let's move along.
How about MTV? Daria, Beavis and Butthead?
Oh
Yeah,
man,
Flux.
the classics, dude. I mean,
that's
Beavis and Butthead. I don't think we really need to talk about it. It's Beavis and Butthead. It's fucking hilarious, but it's
shallow.
stupider than all
They
shit.
tried to bring them back. It
They
just
didn't. It
didn't
didn't
work.
work.
It didn't work. It's not the 90s anymore.
No.
Like, we're not, like...
Although,
Yeah.
with what they could have done if they had just done the show as just them commenting on music videos, I would have watched that.
It wasn't that. That's what I thought it was.
Oh, was it just that?
Yeah.
I heard that it was actually they tried to do some sketches and stuff. Too.
Well, they always did sketches in the old Beavis and Butthead.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying though. If it instead of doing like the in between sketches, if they had only done just music video commentary from Beavis and Butthead,
Yeah.
I think that might have worked better. Like, I don't think those sketches work for this time and place anymore. I think we're kind of like there was something shocking about just how ridiculously dumb that humor was.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, what? No, that can't be the whole joke. There's got to be more to the joke. No, that's the whole joke. What the fuck?
Yeah,
and,
that's it.
And that was kind of the humor of it. It was sort of like before like the Tim and Eric like it's so bad it's good kind of thing.
Right.
And I think we're used to that to a certain extent, so I don't think that works anymore. But I think the two idiots commenting on really bad music videos, I think that would still work, because that's just kind of doing a riff track type of thing, just with Beavis and Butthead, and I think that might have been a better approach for them.
I love that movie, though.
Oh, I mean, the Beavis and Butthead movie!
Oh, yeah, Do America,
so
yeah.
Well, that's where, like, a little bit more came out, because there was very subtle commentary in the show, and he kind of drove some things home a little bit more in that movie. Kind of just like, all right, we're going balls to the walls on this. Fuck it. Again,
another very quotable goddamn thing.
Yeah.
TP for my bunghole. I was spouting that shit all the time.
I talk about TV for my bumhole way more often than I should.
How are we doing on time here?
How are we doing on time? That is a phenomenal question. As soon as my timer will pop up here. Oh, okay. You know, we have rounded 45 minutes. We're also clearly not live. I don't know what the hell happened. This definitely did not go out live.
Cool.
Sorry, everybody. I'll explain it in the commentary tomorrow when I actually put this thing up as a video. I'm actually super psyched that the music's just all underneath this already, and I did that ahead of time, and I don't have to, I just have to, put this onto some shit and then send it to YouTube, and that's it. I'm very excited about that.
Maybe edit out the gay baby rant.
Edit out the gay baby rant?
There's no editing in this.
No.
Why would we do that?
Why?
Curses!
Trust
Why
me,
would
you
we-
obviously haven't listened to other
Yeah.
episodes. There's no editing
There is
here.
no editing
The
here.
sullied Christ will not have this.
Yeah, absolutely not. We will not condone that sort of shenanigans here. No, but Justin, thanks for coming on. I hope to have
Thanks
you
for
back.
having me.
You were a
This
lot
is
of fun. But yeah, so like I said, we are we're going to be doing this the first and third Tuesday of every month instead of the second and fourth. And hopefully be coming out with videos on time. And if we try this live thing again, hopefully we'll nail that down. I'll try to figure out what went wrong here exactly. But until the next time, this has been the Geek for All. I am Geek Meister saying good night.
Good night.
Oh, we missed talking about Celebrity Deathmatch.
The music for the Geek for All show has been provided by Fat Street Beats, Ben Sound, and Purple Planet. Please support their individual pages.